Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the lion's voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lion's voice. Now put it, I Jollifer said that.
Greetings, this is Rastafari. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? Rastafari said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it's Exodus. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
African pride, root of all nations, boy. I tried with the lion, the Rastafari. Lion of it tried with lioness like I do. Empress on the front line, we need you. Well, this is Medicine, the steady one, and you are now tuned in to the Lion's Voice Network. What the lion fought for do? Scorch them. Roast and parch them.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Empress Menen, Alliance, your universally unfold, be told, Blessed love, this is Itege Idama, and it's time for the lioness and the lion's voices to be heard. This is the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Yo, blazing fire, yeah man, this is Rasindio out of Belize, and the time has come for the lions to tell our own story, right? Yeah man, we blaze fire, burning the wicked and the dirty vampire. Yeah man, Rasindio said that, blazing fire, lion boy.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes, wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice, because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
The lioness, them the lion voice.
Yeah, Rastafari, Empress Sila the first. Tell the people about Empress Menen. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn streets them flood. But when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me now budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I. Your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I. That light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start mal, cause they see their city streets them flood. When the hurricane blow down our wall, I'll be by your side and me now budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I. Your light was a lifeline. I think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I. Your love was a lifeline. They say hurt people, hurt people. Maybe that's why Babylon them so evil. Maybe Babylon abused as a child. Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmach Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm a creative industry attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of the Lion Voice Network, Lion Talk Live. We are here, family. We are live, and what a glory it shall be when I and I gather. We are here with our Women's History Month programming. Continue tonight. We have special guests, special topic as we approach the Earth Strong of our Empress Menen. We are going to be talking about a major event taking place in Georgia, in the Atlanta region. And we have some sisters here today who are the organizers, one who I have known over a decade, and, you know, a pillar in the Atlanta and the global Rastafari family. So we're excited about today, and this one of the sisters them very camera shy. So this is why I tell the item that Lion Voice Network is without parallel, because only the Lion Voice Network we can get the shy Rastafari family them to come on camera. You know what I mean? Only here. You're only gonna see certain exclusive workers in the vineyard on this platform for now. You know what I mean? Maybe later they will get more comfortable, but consider this to be like a training ground for the works moving forward. We are deep. No, let me readjust. We are in the early phases of the Gideon War. World War III is raging. Many of us have started to see the price increase at the gas pump. That's going to only increase. The price of food is only going to increase. We were talking about the Straits of Hormuz from last year. So the Lion Pride family know that we've been on top of this. You know, you can go forward. If you think that Rastafari, don't know what time it is. Go forward into the archive when Donald Trump won the election and see the three predictions that I made that Donald Trump. Number one was that there would be a war with Iran. We never talk vague when we did talk. You know what I mean? We talk strong, and we see the manifestation. And now America sending in ground troops. So you know that this thing is, as I said, it's going to be a long war. It's gonna crash the global economic system. The question is going to be ultimately: are we prepared as Rastafari, Pan-African family? Are we prepared? They are crashing the system to put forward the New World Order system. I mean, we talk about this from long time. We sing chants about it. We had beautiful, sweet reggae music about it. Now the question is, are the real people on the ground prepared? We are going to be looking at that here on the Lion Voice Network. As we seal up our Women's History Month programming, we're going to go straight into Gideon War content. We have a lot of artists as well. We're going to be doing a lot more artists as well. We want to hear what the artists them are saying during this time. A lot of the item love the episode we did with Empress Sudana, one of the rising artists out of Kingston, Jamaica. You know, we're getting a lot of good feed forward. So look out. We're going to have a lot more artists because we want to influence, impact the singers and the players of instruments. We know they shall be there, but we want them sing some song for help, you know, soothe the people during these tribulation time and also lead the people in the right direction. Because, you know, right now it's repatriation time, you know what I mean? That is the time that we're living in. And we want some more repatriation songs. We want some more songs that glorify the majesty. Them type of thing right now, because it's going to get hot, and it's getting hot. For those of us in the United States, when are we coming together? This is the question. For those of us still in the Western Hemisphere, Caribbean, you see what's happening to Cuba. You're vulnerable. When are we coming together? Food sovereignty, you know. If you've been watching the channel, we've been doing so much content around food sovereignty. We're now hearing that a lot of the world fertilizer comes out of the Strait of Hormuz, you know what I mean, all of the chemical fertilizer from the petrol, urea, all of these inputs that go into fertilizer come out of the Straits of Hormuz. So that means that the world growing cycle is going to be restricted, which means there's going to be global food shortages. They're already having rationing fuel in some European countries this summer. Look out for that. If you're in certain countries, food rationing, fuel rationing. So, you know, we're just telling the people to prepare themselves to get ready because we're still in the early days. The full impact still hasn't even hit the market, so the prices haven't even been adjusted for the reality of what's going on right now. Qatar just shut down their oil field, their liquid gas field. Europe depends on 40% of their LNG, liquid natural gas, comes from Qatar. So for my UK family, my Germany family, Lion Pride, all through Europe, it's going to be dread over in Europe. Europe is on the verge of collapse, family. So I prayers, reaching out to the global Lion Pride. We have put forward a solution here. We're not just doom and gloom over here. What is the solution that we say over here? We say put the funds in the hands of the workers. The $5, the $10, 50,000 people, $10. That's $500,000 that the worker has to fulfill their work. You know, it's like you put wings on an angel and tell them fly. That's the solution we have here. Collective security, nothing different. None of us are going to see no wagga money anytime soon, you know what I mean? But we do see $5, we see a $10, we see a $20, you know what I mean? So let us utilize it. And in that vein, I'm going to ask our guests to give us some links, and I want Lion Pride family to support this event financially, so that these fundraisers, these organizers can afford to, continue their event. They can also pay. We want to see staff being paid. We love the volunteer work, but my two buzzwords on the Lion Voice Network are budget and staff. Everyone who's the Lion Pride, that's how we sometimes we test, and I'll ask what are our two buzzwords for the Lion Voice Network, and everyone who is a loyal watcher of this channel know budget and staff. We got to get out of the volunteer work right now, family. I mean, we'll always be volunteer Ethiopians, agitating for our rights. However, we have to be able to have people full-time in the evolution, in the building of Zion on earth. We need full-time staff. We can't do it just through volunteer work. So again, I'm going to ask the family here to please support our guests tonight after we hear from their works. We are building a machine here. This is not just a passive look at what's happening in the Gideon. I and I are no longer lamb to the slaughter, family. I and I are the lions that conquer, and lions don't move individually. So before I even go through anything, let me just take the time to big up the greatest online community on the planet, the Lion Pride. If you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. We are 65,700 strong right now, family, and growing every day. The word sound is going out there. 67,500 of the item have said, you know what, I like this content. I'm going to watch this content. I'm going to support this content with a subscription. So big up all of the item for doing that. Big up our Lion Pride on Patreon, our monthly subscribers, paid subscribers. We are still not quite at 50. I think we're at 46 right now. We lost one of our foundation subscribers. And, when we lose subscribers on Lion Voice, let me show you how real the Lion Pride is. When we lose subscribers, most of the time, first of all, they come forward. But when we lose subscribers, most of the time, I get a message. I just lost my job. Things now run. So, Irie, Ras, Gideon. And we have nothing but gratitude for those who give monthly, because we know it's rough out there, but those ones usually a month, two, when they get back on their feet, I see them join again. So even though we're building very slowly, we haven't hit 50, and when we hit 50, we're going to start our grant program where we give $100 US to one of our workers. We're going to vote on it in our town hall meetings. We haven't reached that program yet. However, I have some of my monthly subscribers who have been with us for years, 2 years, 3 years, some of them, So we're building. What I realize is when we chant the chosen few, it is a serious chant, and those chosen few that are with us, that number will grow as the Gideon get hotter, as we grow, and as people are searching for like minds that actually want to do something. Because we don't want to sit here passive, like I said, watching CNN and watching Babylon crumble around us and we feel helpless. No, we want to be active angels building Zion while Babylon is crumbling. The Epstein class and all of them slackness, we see it crumbling. We want to be building the alternative Zion on earth. What does that look like? We are one of the few channels that we show you what that looks like. Big up to our Habesha family, the Kazi Institute. April, we're going to start our series again, The Road to Heaven on Earth series. Episode 3 is coming. At Kazi, we have built a template of what heaven on earth can look like, completely off the grid, completely sustainable, solar energy, the whole fullness. So we are not a fantasy movement over here. So when you come over here, yes, we have a good time, but I also want us to keep the purpose in mind, because more than ever, Rastafari message, Rastafari liberty, Rastafari fullness is needed, and we can no longer just have the heavens in our mind. The heavens must now manifest physical into buildings, into schools, into health centers, into communities, viable, because the people will need refuge. The old is crumbling, the new must arise. So a them thing that we are talking about, and our example is Ivine, is coming from his Kadamawi Haile Selassie, and his chosen queen, Empress, was Zero Menen. So this month, we are really celebrating the feminine energy, the balance that is going to help us to structure. You know, as brethren, our job, we go out there, we chad front line, back of field. You know, the sister and them are there, but their role is really not on the front line. They are there to build, to nurture, to have the youth them, to make sure that I and I have that structure, you know what I mean, and them maintain the culture. The first teacher is a woman. And when we look at Empress Menen, that was the role that we see her playing. And we have now sisters all over the world that have been doing events to honor Empress Menen. We're getting more information than ever about the Empress. People are going, doing research, finding out about the Empress. So the veil of ignorance around who was worthy to be on the side of His Majesty. Because we know His Majesty is mighty, but who and what was the characteristics? There's a whole conference in the ATL around this, and our guests today are going to help us navigate. They're going to let us know. And again, at the end of the program, I want to make sure that the item gives some financial strength. You know what I mean? Lion Pride. I'm not talking, if you're just watching, big up yourself. I'm talking to my Lion Pride now. 67,500 of the item. Let us, if it's $5, $10, we'll ask them to give a link. We'll put it in the description if they don't have it ready. And let us be active. When we bring the guests forward, let us strengthen them globally and show them the collective power and might of our collective IRITs. Big up Frontline Books. This Saturday, we return with Reading Ras on the Frontline, Ras Sekou Tafari. We'll be having programming every night. So if you're watching live, tomorrow night, we have Queen Mother Moses coming on the platform. Friday night, we have about 7 Nyabingi sisters coming on the platform to talk about Empress Menen celebration they're doing in Jamaica at Root House, Rastafari, Root House, big up Ras Negos, the whole Root House family. And then Saturday, we'll have Reading Ras on the front line and Empress from out of Trinidad, Empress Jalala. And then Sunday, we're going to have Dr. Amani Tafari. So from now leading up to the Empress Menen panel on Friday, it's going to be a lot of content. So make sure you are subscribed and locked in. We have all sister all month. Remember, we do that. We have the most Rastafari woman content on the planet right here. So big up on yourself. I was just getting ready to bring forward the guests, and I see like some technical difficulty. When she comes forward, I will bring her forward. Empress Carla is here, and we have a surprise guest that will be joining us, a sister, as I said, that I've known over 20 years. I've known this sister. Her youths, them are big people now. I know them from they were young people, you know what I mean? And now her youths are big people with them own a family and these things. So it's going to be a joy because, again, these are the shy workers that do the work and you don't see them. So I feel like we win the lottery tonight. So get ready. But first, let us give a warm welcome to our stated guest, Empress Carla. I'm praying that the audio and the video is working now. We had a little bit of difficulty. My queen was able, I hope, to solidify. So give us a warm welcome. Royal greetings.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
Beautiful.
Sorry about the technical difficulties.
No problem. No problem. Let me do this. There we go. Welcome. And I want to just give thanks for the eye coming forward. Before we bring forward our special guest, I want to properly introduce the eye to the Lion Voice family. I want to ask the eye to step into the Lion Talk time machine and to take us to the moment of your birth and to give us the origin story of Empress Carla. Who is Empress Carla? Where's Empress Carla from?
Wow.
And what was your journey to Rastafari?
Well, I was born in Washington, D.C., and it's funny because even though I'm in Atlanta right now, I currently live in Central America, like you mentioned, in Belize. And because I was born in Washington, D.C., and technically it's the District of Columbia, it's not one of the 50 states, I always tease and say that I'm not really born in the U.S. because neither one of my parents were American. My mom was raised in Jamaica and my dad, of course, Belize. And so that was where I had my humble beginnings in Washington, D.C., but I actually was raised
part of DC?
Say again, I'm sorry?
What part of DC? Yeah, adjust your camera a little bit there.
We left DC when I was 2. So all I know is that I was born at Walter Reed. My dad was ex-military. That, you know, basically coming into the US from another country by joining the military, I'm not sure exactly how it went, but that's how he was able to get his citizenship as well. And so he did spend some time in the military, but we left DC when I was 2. So I don't really remember much. I know that's up in your neck of the woods, but I don't remember much about DC. Of course, I visited, as an adult, but we didn't stay there for long. My dad actually worked with HUD, the Housing and Urban Development, with the US government. And he was transferred to Coral Gables, Florida, when I was 2. So I knew Miami growing up. So growing up was really Miami. I went to University of Florida, go Gators, big Gator fan. Yes. And then as an adult, though, I've spent most of my adult life in Atlanta. And so I have 2 children and I have 3 grandchildren. And the majority of my family is here in Atlanta. I will be visiting my mom while I'm here. My mom is 99. And she's going to turn 100 in August of this year. And so every chance I get, I try to put my eyes on her as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. So when did you come into your consciousness in terms of growing up?
And that's also an interesting story. We were born here in the US, and though all of my cousins, any relatives, for the most part, were either from Belize or from Jamaica. And I can remember my cousins coming from Jamaica, and I can remember them bringing Babylon by Bus, the Bob Marley album, right? And the music just resonated with me. I didn't understand, I was, I think, maybe 13 or 14 at the time, but I know that it was something that always stayed with me. And probably my late 20s, early 30s, just searching. I was a member of just a regular Baptist church here in Atlanta. And I was going every Sunday. I was active, but something just didn't feel right. I felt like something was missing. And it was like every time that I started to call on Rastafari, something resonated. And so through my early 30s, into my mid and late 30s, I just started reading. And Barry Chavanis, I think, is one of the books, very difficult read, but very good read. Several books that I read, and it was like the window opened. It was like things started to make sense to me. And so I guess I would say that the beginning was through the music, but ultimately I just began reading. I began asking questions and began reading everything that I could get my hands on. I know a lot of sistering come into Rastafari through a king man. And I've met several sisters, like that as well. But in my case, that wasn't the case.
Really?
I just began to, and I'm having a really hard time hearing you. I'm really sorry if you're saying something and I keep talking.
No. But thank you for adjusting the camera.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying that that's fascinating, because I've had several sisters on this platform say they did not come through a kingman, so we may have to reevaluate that. You know what I mean? Because I'm meeting all of these sisters that say they didn't come through a kingman. So how did you square the divinity of His Majesty? You know, coming from your perspective.
Yeah, and I was brought up in a very, I would say, religious household. Just my mom, though, and it was one of those things where, you know, we knew that my mother would say no, but we would go to my dad because he wasn't the religious one, kind of thing. But, you know, like growing up, we were not allowed to cut our hair. We weren't allowed to wear jewelry. We were not allowed to wear pants. So I guess a lot of what people would call us like maybe a holiness, but even different than that. And I can remember just thinking that I felt like I was in a box, right?
Yes.
And it just didn't make sense to me that there were all these things around being able to get to heaven. You know, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. When I began to read the different books about His Majesty, it just made more sense. For one, the African nature of it. You know, I always was like, who is this blue-eyed man on the wall kind of thing? And so it resonated with me, I think, because I was already questioning where I was. I was already questioning the way I was brought up. And even though I think, and, you know, of course, you know, we say all the different mansions of Rastafari, I think that there are times when even Rastafari can be in that box type of thing. But I believe that ultimately it's what's in your heart. And I know that through my reading and through my understanding, I know what's in my heart. And so, you know, whether I wrap my locks or I don't wrap my locks, that doesn't change what's in my heart. And that's the way I live my life as well. And so that's, you know, that to me, that is spirituality. That is where you find your grounding, when you know yourself and you know who you are, and you're not controlled by the thoughts or beliefs of a group or what a group might say or think. Now, I know that might sound a little, you know, out there to some people, but, you know, when you think about it, ultimately, we are responsible for our own salvation. And so we have to know what's in our heart so that when we are dealing with people in the world, we know how and what we believe, how we deal with them.
Yes. So in terms of your vibration, how old were you when you felt confident to declare His Majesty as
late 30s, probably late 30s. I didn't start my first set of locks until I was 33 or 34.
Okay, wow.
It was one of those things where from I was young, I wanted locks, but my father just forbade, like, no, that's not happening in my house. And even when I began my locks, I always remember my daughter was graduating from high school, and I was about maybe a year in or so. So they weren't fully formed, and, you know, my hair is kind of soft, and so it was fuzzy and everywhere. And my dad looked at me and he said, "So you're going to comb your hair for your daughter's graduation?" And I said, "Well, the idea is that I'm not going to comb my hair anymore, so no." But then, you know, when the locks came in full and nice and started getting long, he loved it. But I didn't lock until I was in my mid-30s.
And you know what I'm realizing, what we don't talk about enough is those who come into the liberty as adults, because there can be a different type of pressure, because people might be thinking you lost your mind. Why are you, you know, you're a professional, you're out there, you're doing, you know, why would you go into this liberty? Did you experience that as you?
Absolutely. It's so funny that you say that, because and I tell this story too, because like I said, I wanted to lock my hair for many, many years. And for one reason or the other, I didn't. My dad said no. And then I was married to my children's father. And, you know, I had long permed hair, and it was like, no, don't cut your hair. You're not doing this. And so for many years, I had excuses as to why I just couldn't start my locks yet. But I know I learned that when the time is right, when you're in the right place and the time is right, it doesn't matter where you are. Because I was at the most conservative job I have ever had when I started my locks. And I would come into work in the morning and I could see my boss's face. She did not like it at all. And I wouldn't wrap my locks, you know, for the most part, I would just leave it. And yeah, after I found out from a friend who was still working there after I left, she was able to put something in her employee handbook that actually forbade locks. I don't, you know, her husband was a lawyer. I don't know how they did the wording, but I know that she didn't like it. But that's how I know that when it's your time and when something is right, it doesn't matter, because I had worked in other jobs before and even after where it probably wouldn't have mattered. But at that particular moment, the job that I was in, it didn't matter because it was time for me.
What was that job?
I was working in a dental office, but it was very high-end cosmetic practice. And so, you know, it wasn't anything like insurance or anything like that. It was straight cash and it was just all cosmetic. And so my job was patient coordinator. So I had to greet patients. I was like the liaison between the dentist and the patient. So I had to explain their treatment to them. So I was very hands-on with the patients. And I think maybe that's what she didn't like, but they loved me regardless. So.
Okay. So in terms of acknowledging the divinity, when did you learn about Empress Menen?
You know, not immediately, not right away. I would say maybe I would say that I was, you know, walking Rastafari for maybe about, I don't know, 2 to 3 years. And my first probably 5 years as me, you know, acknowledging Rastafari and acknowledging His Majesty, it was pretty much just me and just reading. And I didn't know where to go. I didn't know, you know, where to find Nyabingi. I didn't know how to find any of that. And then, you know, life has a way of just putting you in places. And so my dad passed away in 2004. And I actually went to go and live in Belize at that time. We had property there and I was sorting some things out. And so I was there for about 2.5, 3 years. And so this was when I was maybe early 40s, I would say. And that was when I felt my strength. That was when I started learning about Empress Menen. You know, being away from the US, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I was able to just see things a lot more clearer. I had a lot of time to do even more reading. And then there was a small Rastafari community in Belize. And then, you know, I would meet with them. We actually would hold Sabbath. Every first Sabbath, we would all get together. And it was through that I started to get the understanding of Empress Menen and of the crowning at the same time with the emperor and the full meaning behind that.
Full meaning. So in terms of your overstanding of Empress Menen and going to Belize, and when was the first time that you connected with Rastafari? Was it in Belize? Did you see any Rastas in America before you left, or was that the first time that you encountered
I did just based on you know, being around the Jamaican community, both here in Atlanta and in Miami. I did know, but I didn't know like if on the 23rd of July, if there was going to be a bingy. I didn't know like where to go to find it. It wasn't until I returned from Belize. I came forward to Atlanta again, and I was living in Atlanta for about 10 or so years before I returned this time. And so, you know, one of the sister in that hopefully is going to come on the line at some point as well. You know, we met at a vegan restaurant, and she invited me to Abingi in Atlanta. And this was in 2009, I think. And we'll talk about this more when we talk about EMAC,
Yes.
because that was when I also joined EMAC. And the Empress Menen Conference was already going on. I think it had been around for about 4 or 5 years at that time. And so when I was able to join the Rastafari community in Atlanta.
Oops.
I guess came about, especially with the Empress Menen Conference, because now we're concentrating on Empress Menen. And,
Okay.
I'm finding more books that are out there. Angeli Parnell, I believe is her name, has an excellent book on Her Majesty that I hadn't read before. And, through EMAC, we were introduced to that book. And yeah.
I am the reading Ras. I'm very interested. What are some of the books that shaped because you were on a reading journey, and a lot of people, because that was my journey. I came into the Liberty a lot.
Yeah.
I was linking with brethren in university, but I had my own personal journey because I had to know for myself the knowledge, the history. And so what were some of the books that shaped you? You said Barry Chevon's Rastafari.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very popular one. What were some of the other books that were instrumental to your journey?
There's a book, oh gosh, I have to see if I can remember the name. I think his name is Robert Roskin. He is a Caucasian man from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And his book is entitled, oh boy, I'm going to Google as I'm talking, but he visited Jamaica and he was so impressed because he said that the people that were the kindest to him, that greeted him, that he befriended were all Rastafarian men when he was in Jamaica. And so he returned with the sole purpose of learning more about Rastafari. And he ended up writing a book. And it's called, I'm trying to remember some of it. It's been a few, and I promised myself to go back and look on my shelf before tonight.
Any other? This is the Angela Purnell book
but
here.
Yes. And that's definitely one of them. Angela Parnell.
Yeah, this is the biography. Big up Angela Parnell.
And then there is there's a sister out of South Florida. I'm sorry, I keep playing with my phone. Her name is Jazanai.
Yes. Yes.
And she has written a book as well.
Jazanai, yes. She's a regular.
She's probably been on your show if I'm not mistaken.
She's part of our Lion Pride on Patreon. She's
okay, all right.
one of our supporters, and we support the Lalabella Institute. So she's been on the program many times.
Okay, yes. And so I did read her book as well. And then there's another book. It's almost like it's almost like a handbook of Rastafari. Okay, so Rastafari, A Way of Life, was written by a Caucasian female.
Okay.
And I have read that book as well. That was kind of the same thing where she was in Jamaica and she went and she lived with the Rastafarian community and then ended up writing a book about it. There is a book that it's called Jamaica's Gift to the World.
Oh, yeah.
It's a black cover. It's almost like a handbook, and it goes through and it talks about the different mansions. That book was so very helpful. Talks about the mansions. It talks about the liberty. It goes into the language, the idea of saying, the strong instead of weak. And it goes through all of that. It goes through and it identifies the different types of cooking utensils to use and things like that. And all I remember is that it says Jamaica's gift to the world. I cannot remember the rest of it.
Like Yassa Safari.
Yes, exactly.
who's also been on this platform as well. So we give thanks. I'm gonna bring in our special guest shortly. Uh,
Okay.
but I want to, I love to, yeah, you can adjust your camera. I love to just hear people's journeys, um, because, I was called to the Nyabingi order, and this is how I met our next guest, was with
Okay.
the Nyabingi order. We um, used to chant Nyabingi, and we had different houses that would come. But one of the things that we always admired as young brethren was the Atlanta Nyabingi house, because the sister in them at the Atlanta house used to come hot, you know what I mean? When it come on to the chanting,
Yes.
chanting till the morning, they rocking bingy till morning.
Yes.
And when you get weary and you look over and you see, some of the sisters like a sister Sila, who we're gonna meet, like a sister Aymara, them time the Namdi, Sister Nandi, who is now in Toronto, and some other
And,
sisters, it was a
and that's exactly why Sister Sila is going to be our special guest, because she was around them time. I came around a little bit after, so I don't even know all of those people that you're mentioning.
yes.
But our special guest will definitely
So
talk more about that.
let's bring in the special guest. Royal greetings to our special guest, Mama Sila. How's everything?
Greetings and blessings. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here tonight.
Please.
Greetings, sis.
Greetings, Sister Carla. Blessed Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Adjust your camera there, Sister Sila.
That's my camera.
And let me let the people here look let me let the people know that I feel like I've made it in life right now, because when you get Sister Sila to come on the camera on the World Wide Web, that means I'm doing something right in my life. This is not for nothing, because you see, these workers, they are very humble. They don't look for the spotlight. So this is part of the joy of doing the Lion Voice Network. So please introduce yourself, my sister, where you were born, where you're from, so people can know who is Mama Sila.
All right. Yes, I was born. My birth name, the name that my mother gave me, is Claudine. And I asked her, I'm like, Mom, why did you name me Claudine? Because when I looked up the meaning of it, I didn't like it. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that might be a little fitting of me. Maybe it mean like lame. And sometimes I'm kind of like laid back and kind of like, reserved, and I like to be in the background. I really don't like to be out front of anything like that. So, but I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. Um, and I moved to Atlanta, Georgia in 1997.
Okay.
Well, New Orleans was really nice. It's a really nice cultural African centered town. But at that time, with the Rasta community, I was looking for something more. I have a big family. I had a lot of youth, so I was looking for something more grounded for them. And I came to a bingy in Atlanta, and it was. I'm like, this is where I need to raise my youth. So, and that is how I ended up in Atlanta.
And those who, when you say a lot of youth, some people might think this means three or four. How many children does
I have a tribe. I had 11. One of my daughters passed away. Rest in peace.
Condolences.
Yes, and I have a lot of grandbabies, and I think I have 18 grandbabies.
Wow.
18, yes.
We had on this platform already.
Yes, he have 4. My boys, they have the most. My daughters, they have 2 each. It's 3 daughters, they have 2.
Yes.
children. So it will be growing. The family will be growing.
Give thanks.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. We're gonna bring you forward because you need your own episode. Your story needs its own episode. You know what I mean? So tonight, though, we want to talk about the Empress Menen conference. So we're gonna reason on the Empress Menen conference. So please tell us what is the Empress Menen conference.
Okay, I just want to give a history of the. I would like to give a history of when we started celebrating Empress Menen here in Atlanta. I think you probably remember, right? In 2005, the Abara movement. It was a group of sisters, and Abara is an Ethiopian word that means shine or light it up. A group of sisters from various houses came together to begin honoring the life of Her Imperial Majesty, Empress Menen Asfaw, and following the Nyabingi Creed. And some of the sisters that you had mentioned before, Sister Karen, Mama Moses, Sister Fire, Mama Fire, Sister and Jerry, Umi Blackfoot, Nandi, Mama Joy, who just passed away. Rest in peace. Nandi, Sister Niger, and a Sister Courtney. That was some of the sisters that was a part of the first Empress Menen that the Abara movement was a part of. So in 2006, the Abara movement collaborated with Empress of Zion. This was EOZ's fourth anniversary of reasoning and celebrating honoring Empress Menen. The conference was held at Spelman College, the Cosby Center, and on March the 25th, Representative Mabel Thomas proclaimed Empress Menen Day. And I think Sister Carla would read the proclamation after I get finished in a little brief history. And the conference took place at Spelman College, and we had a performance by Sister Nancy. She was our performance that night with Ross Batch and Ross Attitude with other singers and players. And in 2009, we was called the Sisters Council of Atlanta, along with Empress of Zion and the Cobra movement. We had another conference where it was a 7-day celebration. We used to do a 7-day celebration, and it started on the 20. We used to celebrate Empress Menen on the 25th before we realized that her birthday was on the 3rd of April, not the 25th of March. And we had like a 7-day celebration where we would go and feed the hungry. We had an Earthlight dinner. We volunteered at the nursing home. We had a house session, the Empress Menen conference, and we ended by going to a service at an Ethiopian church. In 2010, we had a conference sponsored by the Nyabingi Sisters Council. And that's when we took on the name of, that's when we became Empress Menen Atlanta Collective in 2010.
Okay.
So we've been doing the conference from 2004 here for Empress Menen until now. And this conference, I think since the pandemic, this will be our second live show and plus, I mean, in person and plus we're doing it on Zoom.
Okay. And I think we'll be sharing that Zoom link when it's available.
Yes. And I don't know, Sister Carla, do you have the proclamation that was?
Yes, I do. I do. And so, would you like for me to go ahead and read the proclamation? So it came from the House of Representatives, and it's titled a resolution, and it was on March the 25th, 2006, and it reads, commending Empress Menen Asfaw and proclaiming March 25th, 2006 as Empress Asfaw Menen Day. And for other purposes, whereas on March 25th, 2006, Empress of Zion, in partnership with the Abara Movement and Rastafari Women's International Organization, or a Rastafari Women's or International Organization, will host the 4th annual Empress Menen Conference at Spelman College in Atlanta. And whereas hundreds of Rastafari women will gather for reasoning, workshops and youth presentations on the theme Collective Security for Repatriation Surety. And whereas Empress Menen Asfaw was born on March 25th, 1883 in the Wollo province of the Ambosel region, a daughter of the King Mikel of Wollo, she was coordinated alongside His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I on November 2nd, 1930. As Queen of Ethiopia, the only unconquered country in Africa, which was observed by 72 nations around the world who vowed in recognition of a Black empress. And whereas Empress Menen Asfaw was a kind woman by nature, a mother of 6 children with many grandchildren, and whereas Empress Menen exemplified a Black woman's role in the struggle for freedom and equality, and whereas Empress Menen championed many causes related to education in Ethiopia by founding schools for girls and donating money to various educational causes for the poor and for freed slaves, and whereas Empress Menen Asfaw was instrumental in organizing the women of the world against war and its horrific realities, and whereas Empress Menen Asfaw's role in education of women, work with the poor, commitment of her spiritual beliefs, and her quiet strength in the face of tribulation has secured a place for her in Ethiopian and world history as a powerful Black woman. And whereas Empress Menen Asfaw was truly deserving of the title of Queen of Queens, and although she has joined the ranks of the holy ancestors, she will forever live in our hearts as Africans throughout the diaspora. And whereas Empress of Zion and the Abara movement is welcomed by the state of Georgia and the city of Atlanta in holding its 4th annual conference of Rastafari women at Spelman College on March 23rd to March 26, 2006. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives that members of this body recognize and commend Empress Menen Asfaw, the Empress of Zion, and the Abara movement, and proclaim March 25th, 2006 as Empress Asfaw Menen Day at the state capitol. Be it further resolved that the clerk of the House of Representatives is authorized and directed to transmit an appropriate copy of this resolution to the Empress of Zion and the Abara movement. And it is, it says in House, read and adopted March 6, 2006 by Robert E. Rivers, clerk of the county court.
Okay, powerful. How many people knew that there was an Empress Menen Day in Atlanta? You know what I mean? How many people know that? So that's why Rastafari independent non-aligned media is so important, because we sometimes believe that Rastafari is not doing anything, but we see that there are works all over creation that ones have been doing. And where we lack now is the connectivity to put all of these things together. And that is why, we have seen a level of stagnation in terms of the physical development, because that connective tissue between the workers that have been doing the frontline work around the world, you know what I mean? We can't worry about the naysayers and the grumblers and the watch and peep. We can't worry about them because, as I was telling someone, these people have not produced any alternative, in decades. So, what we have to do as ones who are doing the work is to come together now, strategize, and execute the plan that Kadamawi Haile Selassie has left for I in the West. You know what I mean? It's very simple. Now, that being said, Sister Sila, what can people expect at an Empress Menen conference? What, you know what I mean? I come to the conference, what do I expect?
This year, we usually have different speakers to come. This year we will be at an Ethiopian restaurant. We will be live from an Ethiopian restaurant. And we have a panel of women that own bookstores.
Okay.
So they will be speaking, and we're talking about this year. We're going to from royalty, from I can't. What's the topic for this year? Sister Carla, can you let me see? The topic for this year is from. Well, I know we're gonna dig in from slavery to royalty. I had to say slavery from enslaved to our royalty. So we connecting the dots, and we having speakers come on, and we're gonna have Her Majesty great granddaughter to come on and talk about her book also.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So it's going to be a panel discussion.
Yes.
Will there be any entertainment, edutainment?
Yes, we do have entertainment, and we might have a fashion show. Also, yes.
Just to kind of, lay out the groundwork, I guess, for it. So, from 2004 until today, until 2006, there's been a conference every year, with the exception of 2021, was it, I believe, when COVID was at its height.
Yes.
But even then, the very following year, we went right back and we just started doing it virtually.
Nice.
And so ever since, we had, live conferences where it would be, whether it was a week long, then we went to just the couple of days, but it always involves having a guest speaker, someone based on our topic, sometimes 2 or 3 speakers. We also always have some type of entertainment, whether it was live or virtual. And then we would have the fashion show. And as a part of what we do at the Empress Menen conference is we have picked up where one of our sistren had begun, and then tragically she passed away, Sister Jerry. I'm sure most of you may know who she is. And she had begun the Warrior Queen Mother Awards as well. And so ever since, I want to say 2010, as a part of the conference, we also award that Warrior Queen Mother Award based on the topic or the theme for the conference that year. So this year it's bookstore owners, and so the Warrior Queen Mother Awards will be awarded as well. And our guest speakers are all authors as well. I just want to kind of add that in there. So basically, that's been the format throughout. We even did the fashion show virtually. We did entertainment virtually. And so, you know, I'm kind of bragging, I think, because I'm very proud of what we've done to say that, you know, the core group of us have just kept this alive because we feel like it's very important that we honor Empress Menen as women of Rastafari. And so, you know, we continue to do the works.
We love that. We love that. Let me ask the question. Is it just for sisters and brethren attend?
I didn't hear the question. Sorry.
Hold on a second. Mute your phone. We are from your line there, Mama Sila. I was saying, can brethren attend? Can a brethren attend the conference, or is it just for the sistren then?
Absolutely. We invite every and anyone to attend the conference.
Okay. Let me ask a controversial question that only a Rastafari person treading 2 decades plus could ask. Do the brethren try to take over the conference? Be honest. They come and do the brethren try come take over the conference and chat out the conference and don't let the sistren talk? Be honest. Be honest. hold on. I'm gonna get there.
If I can let you know, at first when we first started celebrating Empress Menen, it was some brothers was not on board. But now I think they have accepted, they embraced it, Empress Menen. They accepted it now. So it's more, you know, they let us do our thing, and ones who would like to come in and whenever we ask them for help, they would definitely be there and step up to the plate.
Give thanks. What is the state of Atlanta Rastafari community right now?
Can you repeat that, please?
We're getting a little bit of an echo.
Yeah, it's from Mama Sila's line there. What is the state of Rastafari community in Atlanta right now? It was one of our strong communities. What is the state of the community from your perspective, Mama Sila, who have seen it for decades? You know, how do you feel about the strength of the community right now?
That's a great question. I think because of, I don't know, even like I'm kind of like dismayed about it because of the social media, internet. People don't communicate like it was before.
Yeah.
It's not a lot going on right now. They have a little, you know, it's not like it was before. So it's different. It's very different.
Worldwide.
Yes.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
So this is why one of the reasons that I went into the media, because I could see that you know, we needed something to connect the dots, you know what I mean? Because the local vibration, you know, with social media, people become more separate because everybody's in their own world, you know. And then also the pace of life, you know, one time you used to just go upon the ends, you burn a chalice, you're reasoning, you know what I mean? Who is sitting up right now in Babylon with them type of reason? You know what I mean? Everybody hustling, you gotta work, you gotta pay bills, you know what I mean? You're moving right now. Anyone who's in the West right now, well, very few people, you know, who have responsibilities are seating up like they used to. What I'm gonna ask the same question, Empress Carla. What is the state of the community from what you know and what you have seen over the years?
I've not lived in Atlanta for the past 4 years or so. So I'm not as up on you know how things are here as before. I would say though that there was a time that you just knew when July 23rd was coming, when November 2nd was coming, you know, when April was coming, you knew that there would be a bingy and you would know pretty much where to go. I don't think that it's still the same now. There is still, there are still bingies that happen during celebration time, but it's not as automatic, I guess is probably the best word that I can think of, as it used to be.
Serious thing.
Yes.
We have to realize, and some of it is too because it's repatriation time. It's time to come out the West. You know what I mean? We've been chanting it for decades, and now we see what's happening. So some of it is that. I have a question about, right now we're in a time of war, just like Empress Menen was in a time of war. You know what I mean? Empress Menen, I think, has set a template in terms of the feminine divine energy in a time of war. She wasn't passive, but she also was running the government when His Majesty was in the field. She was in charge of the government. She was dealing with the nurses, you know what I mean, the soldiers and the healthcare. Will there be any discussion this year at the conference about the global crisis that we find ourselves in and how that relates to Empress Menen, and maybe some of the lessons that we could learn from Empress Menen from these perilous times? Hold on. Let me unmute.
Sorry, that was me. I was muted. My apologies. I was saying that's an excellent question, though. That is really a good question. I don't know that we had anything intentionally set for this year's conference, but now that you say that, and of course, based on the current situation with the war that's begun and so forth, it's something that we should definitely look at, even if it's just a short conversation amongst our guests as to what women's role, what our responsibility would be if, heaven forbid, the war continues and it even crosses the waters and reaches, over here in the West.
Yes. It's a serious thing.
That's definitely food for thought.
Yeah. I'm going to ask the same question, Mama Sila.
The only thing I can say is that we have to stay fast, stay up full. Just make sure that we have things that we are prepared. Even if you have an emergency kit or anything like that, just make sure all those things is in order. Make sure you have all your paperwork in case anything is to happen, and just pray that nothing happens, that our sons would have to go and fight for this stupid war that shouldn't even be happening, and Empress Menen didn't believe in war, but if we have to fight, if she had to fight, she would. So that's the same, that's the same strength that I carry,
Yes.
If I have to, but I'm not an opponent of war. I think that we should be able to communicate without have to fight. But if we have to fight, we will.
Serious. Very serious. Talk to our Empress Carla about the Zoom aspect. How people who are not local in Atlanta can participate.
Mm-hmm. I actually just sent you an email with our flyer.
Okay.
And so the flyer has the Zoom link. Okay. And then, any of us from the Empress Menen Collective would have access to the Zoom link as well. And so the flyer will be out on all of our Facebook pages. We generally will text it to people that we know, that want to participate, but just for the general public, between Facebook, Instagram, for all of us, not just myself, but for, on Sister Sila's social media pages. That's nowadays the best way to to disseminate the information, but we'll also send personal messages as well that has that Zoom link.
Beautiful. So what I'll do is I'll do a community post. I'll post a flyer to my network, and the Zoom link will be there. So for those who are interested globally, we have a lot of global family. They will be able to tune in and listen. I'm very intrigued myself, so we definitely will look. The topic of today, in addition to the Empress Menen Conference, I'm fascinated by the Empress Menen Collective and what the vision is for the collective, and give us some of the history of some of the works aside from the conference. Does it meet every strong? What is the structure of the Empress Menen Asfaw Collective?
So Sister Sila mentioned a little bit a little earlier, we would do nursing home visits. That's probably one of the most prevalent things that we do, according to the creed, taking care of our children and our elderly. And so we would do collections and take things to a nursing home. Most recently, we have a sister that is in a nursing home, and so we've kind of adopted that as our sister nursing home, so to speak. And so generally during the holidays, we always make sure and send a basket to the nursing home with just supplies that are always needed at a nursing home. When we were all together in Atlanta, we did do homeless feedings as well. We would cook and then feed the homeless. What else, Sister Sila? We've done a variety of things together as like a group of sistren. For the most part, though, concentrating on the creed and trying to live the creed and live up to what the creed asks of us as Rastafari. You have anything else to add to that, Sister Sila? I'm trying to think of all the things that
we also try to take care of our body. We did, we was doing like a walk, just making sure we maintain our body and keeping in shape also. Yes, a part of the program.
I love that. What's the vision of Empress Menen Collective?
The vision is to keep Her Majesty, to pass her legacy on and keep her history going, and to implement her lifestyle within our lifestyle, trying to be dedicated to the community, to our family, and to our spiritual gathering places.
Yes. Give thanks. I know you must be so proud of your children. I had the blessing of going to Africa with one of your daughters. Yes. I know these are big people.
Yes.
Wow. Talk to us about your journey in motherhood.
My journey in motherhood. Like when I started, I think I was like 18 years old. And this brethren came and he was saying, they got a king that was crowned. They have a king that was crowned, the King of Kings, the Lords of Lords, the conquering land of the tribe of Judah. And it was like, he said, this is what's in the scripture. So just started studying the words, and I remember like Marcus Garvey was one of the books that I used to read, and the author Dr. Ben Yohannikin.
Yes.
That was Black Man Civilization. I forget the name of it, but I think I had one of the original books. And I misplaced that book and I had to go get another one. But I think I had one of the original books. It was the cover was orange cover. And I had that book for a while, but I don't know what happened to that book. But even just like studying the words of His Majesty, uh, and even some of the reggae music had me going and looking up people that I never heard of before, and I had to go and like, ooh, 'cause even like through the music had me researching and studying, and I didn't know who George Jackson was. I didn't know certain people I never knew of until I started listening to reggae music, and I had to go and like research these people and see, you know, about about them. So
Yeah.
and when I started up Rastafari, it was me and my king man. We started up together. We was up late reasoning, studying, getting up. I remember getting up like at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning and just reading the scriptures, uh, just reading books, and I never knew about Naya. I never knew of Naya Bingi. I never been to a Naya Bingi. I had the churchical Naya Bingi album. And I'm like, man, I want to go to a Bingi. I never, it was just so uplifting to me. And so that's my journey. Once
This was in New Orleans.
that was in New Orleans, yes, in New
New
Orleans.
Orleans. You see, I got it right.
And that was and I wanted to be like I was a young Rasta, just young and starting off and studying and just embracing the natural life and stop eating meat at the time and just I remember when I was coming up, and I think that's what really drew me to the Rastafari. Uh, I used to look at television, look at the Tarzan movies, and they used to say, "Oh, look at you, you look African," and I used to be crying, "I'm not an African. I'm not an African." And they used to then when I got older, and I embraced it so much. And when I could start calling myself an African, they were like, "No, you're not an African." And I'm like, these people are so confused. My family, because when they was calling me an African, I was crying. And so when I found out who I really was, and I went back and I told them I'm an African, and you're not no African, you are American. So it was just that I guess that double standard of us denying who we were, who we are, you know. And so it made me embrace my Africanness more because I knew I was, especially when I'm reading and discovering all the beautiful things and all the miseducation about Africa. So in raising my children and stuff, I was able to raise them knowing certain things that I didn't know. So they was very aware of their Africanness coming up. They was very they embraced it, they embraced their liberty, and that's what really I really appreciate while I was raising my children that they grew up in the Rastafari community, you know.
Hold on 1 second, because this is one of the Habesha mamas. You know what I mean? They them know and I are part of Habesha. This is one of the mamas who trusted her children to Habesha. Her daughter was one of the first youth. I think she might have been in the first or second batch of youth that traveled from Atlanta to Ghana. How did they feel to have one of their youth touch the African continent with Habesha? Hold on. Go ahead.
I've been so blessed. I have been so blessed, and I'm so thankful that even like before, I was really giving thanks because even before my daughter went to Africa, I was blessed to go to Ghana.
Okay.
And and so that was right there was I know just like man, it was such a blessing because I'm like I don't know how the most I just opened doors when it happened and to see my youth going, not just one but two.
Yes.
Yeah, it was such a joy. It was such a joy. It was like, oh, just you know, just giving thanks that they was able to experience,
Yes.
something, you know, and to see another part of the world that, that a lot of people, even like grown people don't even want to go, and they was like, yes, I want to go, so I felt very blessed and humbled.
Yes. And then you had a next youth that just bust the seal and went to Ghana.
With his family,
Yes.
yes. Whole
Full
family.
family. Full family.
Yes.
Highly mighty.
And he have a mother-in-law that's been there for over 20 years.
Yes.
Myra.
Yes, our royal sisters. Man, what a joy. Let me mute this with the echo. So family, I want everyone to tune in before we seal up tonight. I'm gonna ask these sisters to give us some information how the global family can support the Empress Menen Asfaw Collective because we need to fund these organizations. I know these sisters are working voluntarily. They're coming out of pocket a lot of time to do these works, and they've done it, continually for many years, and we love that. I love that for the item, but I am taking a militant stance now because if we have 67,500 people who are going to subscribe to this platform, that means we have people who are interested in the levity. That means that there are people who are out there, you know what I mean, of like mind. So what I'm asking, not for everyone, even if we had 500, because I know at least 400 or 500 people will watch this video. Even if everyone gave $1, you know what I mean, that would give some strength. Now, I would love to see more, but we have to start somewhere. So I'm gonna ask these sisters to hopefully share some information. We're gonna share the flyer on all of our on our community posts on YouTube, and I'll share it for our Patreon with the Zoom link. So, and remember, you can join the Patreon for free as well. You can join the Lion Voice Patreon for free, or you can be a monthly subscriber. Whatever you can work with. We're trying to build a community here, and what we are trying to do, or not what we're trying to do, what we are doing is we are centralizing the energies. Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media, we have a purpose, and the purpose is centralize, organize, and centralize. This was the commandment His Majesty gave to our elders in the movement that has been passed down to our generation. So we're not changing, we're not reinventing the wheel, family. We're using the media to centralize, support these positive works. If we put capital in the hands of the workers, it's the quickest way that we're going to liberate ourselves. It's the quickest way that we're going to build the alternative to what is crumbling. We cannot wait for an imaginary sky god to come and save us. That's not going to happen. Don't think the government is going to come with a program to save you. It's not going to happen. So if we're looking at people who are different than the people already doing the work, we are delusional. And I don't deal with delusion. I burn out delusion. And I man look for solution. So I'm going to ask Empress Carla, how can the global family support? We're not sealing up quite yet, but I want just to hear how, if ones want to support the Item Collective, what's the best way for them to support? Is there a website? What's happening?
Well, you're absolutely correct. It is totally volunteer, everything that we do as a collective. And so basically what we do as a membership is we pay dues, and our monthly dues is what generally goes towards whatever we're doing, whether it's the conference or if we're, doing donations for the nursing home. And so during our conference time, we have an ad booklet. Since we began the virtual conference, we haven't done an ad booklet, but this year we are going to do a digital ad booklet. And so putting an ad in our ad journal would be wonderful. You can contact any of us. Probably what I should do is maybe leave my telephone number, and Sister Sila do the same thing. Because if you wanted to do an ad, our deadline is pretty close, but since it's going to be a digital ad journal, then we can still make changes to it. But that's one way that you can support. An advertise your business, or say hello to the family member, greet them, graduation or whatever the case may be. Other than that, we do have an Empress Menen account, and we are able to accept Cash App or Zelle, if you would like to do a donation. And both are associated with my telephone number. And so I can definitely leave my telephone number.
Yeah. So
and,
send me the info and I'll put it in the description. Send me the info and I'll put the donate in the description. So because most people will watch this on the replay. Most of the audience will watch this on the replay. Okay. So when the family watches, you can just go into the description and we'll have the information there for ones who want to attribute.
Okay, absolutely. I'll send it to you right now, and then you can put it on the broadcast.
Yes, I want to make sure. I'm going to ask the same question I asked Mama Sila, which is what would the vision be for the collective? What is the current vision? And if money was not any obstacle, if you had $1 billion in the account tomorrow morning, what would be the works? And I'm going to ask Mama Sila the same thing as well.
I think that the first thing, and speaking for myself, not for the collective, but just based on conversations that we've had as a collective in the past, it would definitely be to support a nursing home. There's just so much need in the nursing homes. Little things that, just like the everyday toiletry items and things like that. And so I think that we'd be able to do a lot more than what we're doing now with just maybe once a year. We would maybe even be able to do something monthly, bi-monthly. We would come up with something to where we're able to contribute to that nursing home that we've adopted. We have talked about doing some type of youth program. Sister Sila can talk about this more as well, but she's always been involved in child care, child teaching, and things of that nature. And that's what she loves to do as well. And we've talked about trying to do that again, whether it's just through Sister Sila doing it on her own and EMAC supporting her, or if it's actual EMAC organization that is able to start some type of a child care facility, something that involves youth after school activities, anything to do with uplifting and supporting the youth in the community. I think those are probably the two main things, the two first things that we would do. And Sister Sila, I know that he's going to ask you the same question, and so you can add to that.
Yeah, before I go to Sister Sila, assisted living is a multi-billion-dollar business. And I'm thinking, as you say that, for elders, why can't we have a Rastafari nursing center that's based on Rastafari principles, where we're feeding people ital, where there's a lot of plant life, where there's there's a documentary about the hospital in Singapore. There's a hospital in Singapore where it's almost like a nature reserve in the hospital. It's all greenery. In the lobby you have wildlife, birds and fish and spring and stream, because they say this helps people to heal. You know what I mean? So the hospital is full of plants, and I'm thinking this is like what Rastafari should be doing. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be
Absolutely.
just Singapore. So if I put that $1 billion in the account, because I'm working on it, I'm working on getting my audience to fund these projects. If I put that $1 billion in your account, I want a Rastafari health center. I don't
You would
want.
have it.
All right.
You would have it. You would have it. And one of the things that I was going to say, and I'll just take a moment.
Yes.
You're seeing on this live, you're seeing Sister Sila and I.
Yes.
But Sister Oya, Sister Quia, Sister Nija, Sister Lioness, Sister Isis. There's more than just the two of us that you're seeing here. There's we have a lot of sistering behind us, and I believe that if someone just to write us a check and we could do whatever, that would be done with no problem whatsoever. I think that between those of us that are on board right now, even if it were just us, I know that we would be able to accomplish that, because we've accomplished so much as an organization already with very little.
Well, that's what we're working on over here. So maybe when you come next year for the conference, that $500,000 is going to be in your account. You know what I mean? The vision.
Sounds good.
Be
good.
ready. I'm warning all my guests. I'm not just here talking. I'm warning, because the lion pride is growing in strength. So I'm just warning the item, be ready to execute the judgment. Mama Sila, answer my question, please. $1 billion.
Okay, $1 billion. My profession trade is I am an early childhood educator.
Okay.
And plus I am a certified nursing assistant. So my profession is taking care of children and elderly. And that is my vision. I mean, just to have a facility for our ancients would be wonderful. For our elders, that would be wonderful. And I would love to have a center where children can come and do arts and crafts. I love doing arts and crafts. I love crocheting. So I would definitely have that space. I would have a room for literacy where they can come and check out books and relax. I have it comfortable where they can sit down and just read. And also I would have in the center, I would have I like to do gardening work. So we would definitely be into gardening and something like that.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I would love to do.
So I want my audience to listen carefully. The visions that these sisters have, because again, I'm calling on the Lion Pride to contribute, and I don't want that Lion Pride to embarrass I, because I'm trying to do something revolutionary here, which is 50,000 people spending $10. You know what I mean? $10. Think about it. That $10, you're not going to miss it tomorrow. You know what I mean? You might, a cup of coffee right now in Babylon is about $7. You know what I mean? You can't get a meal in Babylon for under $15 right now. Where are you getting that meal? You know what I mean? So $10 that we could give to a guest, and whatever the equivalent is, because we know it's a global platform. So whatever that $10 equivalent is US in your currency, if we send it to one place, that is how we are going to free ourselves, is by empowering the workers. Because guess what now? These sisters would have to hire a staff. So they're going to hire Rastafari people. They're going to hire Pan-African people. You know what I mean? This is how we have to think right now. This is not a fantasy time. This is how we have to think. If we're going to get the money to develop, it has to come from the collective. It's not going to come from any individual. It's not going to come from a reggae artist. It's not going to come from white Jesus. It's not going to come from Donald Trump and the government. It's going to come from the same people that you love talk bad about around the corner and globally, and who you say nah do nothing. It's I and I, same one, are going to be the salvation to come. So let us come together, the like minds, because the like-minded people, we spend too much time talking about the people who are the naysayers. We waste so much time trying to explain to people who don't see the vision, and I'm tired of that part of the trad. That's boring to I. I'm not arguing with no one right now in iration. May I tell the item that, we can reason, but I'm not arguing. You're free. We agree to disagree. You know what I mean? Unity does not mean uniformity. Let us talk. If we're going to spend time together, let's talk about what we agree on. Let's find something where we can build on and we start there. That is where I am in Iman Chad. And so these sisters to I are like a light. You know what I mean? They are carrying on the tradition. And I'm going to ask, why is it important in this time for people to know about Empress Menen? What is the relevance, of a conference on Empress Menen right now? Sister Sila, you can start.
Well, I see Empress Menen as my royal mother. And I think her story, her life, her legacy should live on. And the works that she did, it should continue through us. So that's why I think it's important.
And then the other question I have for the eye is, coming from New Orleans as a young Rastafari sisterin, you met some of the legendary elders, Mama Bubbles, all of these different ones, were there in Atlanta. So, Mama Sila's coming from them ancient Iowa there. Now that you look around the world and you see what's happening, because I always reason with ones who are around the elders, the foundation elders, and I ask this question, because we look, everything they said was right. Do you feel the same way, or how do you feel about, looking at the world today as a Rastafari? Because remember, a lot of the stuff we used to talk about, people used to think you were crazy. The herb is going to be free. The herb is the healing of the nation. Now it's medical everywhere. It's legal all over the place. Babylon is falling. What do you, just shut up your mouth. People would, locks. You live in a time where locks is everywhere. That never used to be that. So coming from your chad, Mama Sila, how do you feel now as an elder sister or mature sister, seeing the landscape, knowing the choice that you made to chad Rastafari?
The difference that I see more sisterins embracing Rastafari. I see more sisterins. And that right there, even like I remember years ago with Mama Bubbles, when she was calling for the sisterins to come together to set up Rastafari, and I don't know, it seemed like to me that the sisterins is really like moving things forward, and I think the brothers should come and embrace us a little more, and how I see Rastafari right now, and it's just on a different level. It's just on a even like with everyone. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell who's Rasta or not with the locks, and sometimes you can tell depending on their aura or whatever. Yeah, everybody wearing locks, and sometimes I don't like it because of the and I thought I would embrace it. I'm like, yeah, everybody should have locks, And I don't think that way anymore because of some of the negativeness that ones carry that have locks,
Yes.
And the herb, oh God, I think Rastafari people should have had more control of the herb business, but we don't.
Yes.
Because we've been promoting it, even like with the food. It was ITAL, now they have it vegan. It's ITAL. So, and I guess vegan consists of more processed foods than ITAL.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a difference. But even just the people that's embracing plant-based food, it's well, that's something positive. I think that more people is eating more vegan and more plant-based foods.
But
That's
how
the
do
difference that I
you
see.
feel that you live to see this now that is mainstream?
Excuse me?
So how do you feel that you live to see it become mainstream?
Oh, I love it because I think that I think the more you live, the more you should grow, and I think things going to change, things going to evolve. It's not going to stay the same. And some of the things I think we should embrace, but some of the things I think we should keep it a little sacred. Um, Especially like the bingy. I think it should have been a more sacred than just being blasted all on YouTube or whatever. That's just my opinion. That's the way I feel. I think it should be more sacred than what it is. But you
Yeah.
know, but it's been exposed to, and more people is being able to, I guess, and being able to listen to bingy, all over now. So I guess that's.
And Mama Sila's coming from the time, when we used to try, you could never bring out a camera and a Naya Bingy. The amount of fire that reach you, you know what I mean? You burn up right there, so, and your camera getting thrown into the fire, straight. It's not a nice thing, you know what I mean? So that comes with the smartphones, and everybody got a camera now, so that's what Mama Sila's talking about. These are some of the changes. But as she said, it's a double-edged sword, because a lot of people now get exposed to Naya Bingi, and maybe they're going through something, and because even myself, sometimes you scrolling through and you see a hot Bingi in South Africa, and you're glad say a man, take out a camera because the harmony, and it's riding, you know what I mean, and it lift up your iris right there. So it's a double-edged sword, you know what I mean, in terms of to record, not to record. Because I say this to my brethren Bingi Sean all of the time. I wish that we had recorded all these events we did at Howard University. You know what I mean? When the Atlanta House was coming up, when we were, we used to have big events, big speakers. You know what I mean? Man, we have to tell man, don't burn your spliff in Blackburn Center, because people just feel like they come as Zion. It's just Rastafari, the whole place, and man, pull out all them spliff chalice. We have to say, no, we're in a university, just cool brethren. So, but we don't have none of these tapes. We don't have nothing film. So it's a double-edged sword. And at that time, we were just, as young youths, we're just, we're doing the works, faith and works, and that was the mantra, and we felt good about it. But as now an elder, I wish I had them things to show our youths. I wish that we had that legacy, even for sure. So it's a double-edged sword. But I'm gonna ask the Empress Carla, in terms of Empress Menen, why is it important in this time to have to keep up this conference? There's other causes, there's other things that people could be doing, spending money on. Why is this important?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is that there's so much vanity now in the world. Yes. For many different reasons, social media being part of it, the phones that we were just talking about being a part of it, and progress is necessary, but along with it comes things. And I think that as beings, as human beings, as people that walk on this earth, we have to make the decision as to what type of life we want to live. And I think that the pull to vanity has become so strong. And I believe that Empress Menen represents the complete opposite of that. She represents the humility of that feminine energy. Everything that you read about her, and I really wish that there was more literature on Empress Menen, but everything that you do read, it speaks about her humbleness and her giving and things of that nature. And I think it's very, very important, especially for our young sisters, to have an example of a queen, of someone to look up to, someone that exemplifies the type of life that the type of trot that we should all strive to live. The honesty, the standing next to her king, to taking over the government when he was at war. It sounds very simple, but it's not. It's major. It's things, and I don't know, with some of the young people that we see coming up now, I don't know that that would be the case. And so I think it's very important for us to keep Empress Menen in the forefront, and Rastafari women in general in the forefront, because I believe that Rastafari has a lot to offer the world, but it's just not portrayed enough for the world to really embrace it.
Give thanks. I love that. I love that. So this conference, what edition is this, Empress Carla? What?
Well, we were saying 20. We were saying 20 because 2006 was that first proclamation that we received. But in the proclamation, it says that was the 4th. Wow. And so this really then would be the 23rd year of the conference. Sister Sila, there from day one. This is probably year 14, I believe, for me. Because I lived in Atlanta, took a trod to Belize after my father passed away, came forward to Atlanta, and that was when I got to meet Sister Sila and a lot of the other sisters and really became involved. I had my first night at Bingi and, things like that. And it was just, it was just amazing. You know how you go somewhere, or you go to an event, or you do something and it just feels right. You feel like you finally just found where you were supposed to be. That's how I felt when I went to my first, and it was Bingi Shan was there, Queen Mother Moses was there. Sister Akuya was the one that invited me. But that was when I met Sister Sila. That's when I met Queen Mother Moses. Queen Mother Moses and I actually both worked at Delta at the time, but I did not know her. And we met, at that Bingi. And then, after that, it was like I couldn't get enough. And, you're talking about being able to go to YouTube on Sabbath morning. I get up and I turn YouTube on and just let the Bingi play, just loud throughout the house. And I have come across some really nice Bingis that way as well. Just letting YouTube you just put in Naya Bingi drumming and then just let it play. And so it's edifying, as Sister Sila was saying earlier. It's definitely edifying.
It's a double-edged sword, because that's sacred. I see what Sister Sila's also saying, because some of those sacred Bingi, when people are not worrying about recording, it's a different current.
Some of the best. Yeah.
And especially with Mama Bubbles. If you have ever chanted with Mama Bubbles, you trod into the seventh heaven. You know what I mean?
See, and I never had that opportunity.
She could open portals. You know what I mean, with her voice. Wow. Allow me to tell Mama Sila about Mama Bubbles.
Oh gosh, yes, coming in to Bingi. I remember so many beautiful Bingis that was held in Covington, Georgia, and on Edgewood also. Did you ask me something? I'm just filling in, and I thought did you ask me a question?
No, I was just reminiscing on some of the ancient Bingis.
Oh, yes. Were you there at the first show when Ross Batch and the brother Ross Batch and Ross Attitude, Sister Nancy?
No, I wasn't.
We had Sister Carol. She opened up for us one year.
Carol, yeah.
And her daughter came the next year.
Beautiful. Mama Culture. She's been on here a couple of times.
Yes.
Sister Carol.
Yeah, I think Sister Carol was 2011. I was just looking at the brochure, our ad journal for that with Sister Carol.
Yes. All right. So I do give thanks. Again, we're gonna put the link in the description. I'm gonna give the item a chance to just say your final words on. I'm gonna start with the Mama Sila, and then there I can seal us up. Empress Carla, any final word sound for the global family that is important? Do we know what any of the panels are going to be about, what the speakers are speaking about, if you want to just give any of that information right now? But any final sounds, Mama Sila?
Oh, yes. Please come out. We're going to be at this Ethiopian restaurant called Gideon. It's on Chester. It's on North Druid Hill. Anyone here in Atlanta, come and check us out live and get you a nice Ethiopian meal while you're there. And just hope that one come out and support us and take out an ad journal if you can, and just give thanks for all so many different ones that been on the program. A definite shout out to Queen Mother Moses who have been there in support of just everyone. Um, and to the I give thanks for having this platform and really appreciate you. Thank you. God bless.
Have you watched this platform before, Mama Sila?
Yes, I have many times. I haven't been on it, but I have seen. Yes.
Okay. That made me feel good.
Yes. I was like, man, I wish this. I was last night. I was looking at one of the programs. His sister wrote a book. She was talking about the journey of His Majesty's birth. And I was saying, I wish this was available when my youth was coming up, because they would be in the classroom, like every Saturday, that would be their classroom, your program.
Thanks. That's a high praise. Mama Sila's made my day, so you can't chat to me anymore, please. My day has been sealed. Mama Sila sealed my day with that compliment. The item don't know, Mama Sila. It means so much to I and I, just the legacy and how much she has poured blood, sweat, and tears into this liberty. Really have to give thanks for Mama Sila works. Empress Carla, give us your final sounds.
Well, I would love for everyone that can hear us, and even if you watch this at a later time, to join us on the 5th of April. It's at 5th of April at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're in Atlanta, come on out, like Sister Sila said, and have a meal at the Ethiopian restaurant. But if you're not, then just join us virtually. One of our guest speakers, we talked about the authors, Princess Miriam Selassie. She's actually the great-granddaughter of His Majesty, and she's been a guest of ours before, and just listening to her tell stories of growing up in the palace. As a group for EMAC, for the collective, we read her book prior to. We just made sure that her book is called It Was Only Yesterday. And we read her book so that, we would be informed and ready to ask questions when she joined us. I think it was 2 years ago. And I'm very excited to have her again. It's just amazing listening to her and, listening to her tell stories about, sitting on His Majesty's lap and, just having to, when he called her to into his office, how she had to come and wait for him to acknowledge her, just the royalty and the the tradition of the royalty, of the way they did things in the palace. It would be worthwhile just to come and hear her speak, just to join the virtual. And then we also have another author joining us. I don't know that she's going to be able to come actually onto the conference, but we are going to be reading excerpts from her book. And then her book is called Shake Your Tree. And that's kind of how we came up with our theme about from ancestry to royalty, from slavery to royalty. And so I just encourage everyone to, just join us, come and learn. You'll learn so much, and then you'll be entertained as well. We have a guest artist, and we're working on the fashion show again for this year. We were literally trying to decide if we were going to do a live fashion show, since we're going to be at the restaurant. The past few years in the virtual, we've done a virtual fashion show. So basically it's, we would come in with the video, but we may actually try to do a live Ethiopian fashion show from the restaurant this year as well. And so I just encourage everyone to come and learn something new about Rastafari and about Empress Menen.
And we'll be sharing the Zoom link here so you can come forward. Sister Sila, I saw you on YouTube. Did you want to share something?
Oh, yes. I wanted to say on April the 5th, that's the day I was born. So I hope everyone come out to wish me happy birthday.
You have to come now, because that is Mama Sila's Earth Strong. These are powerful sistering. These are powerful works. I hope the family recognize how crucial it is for I and I to support these works. This is one global Rastafari family, and so I want us to behave that way. I'm gonna post the post the link for the event in our community tab. So when you go to our YouTube page, you can go to community posts, and it's like a social media on YouTube. So I know a lot of people just go to YouTube for the videos, but they also have that social media community, and we post flyers there. We post different things there. Also, it's important to become a part of our mailing list, become part of our Patreon if you want to make sure that you can keep up. We can always get kicked off of YouTube. So you want to make sure you're keeping up with the Lion Voice Network. Join the Patreon for free. You can join as a free member, and that way we have your email. You get a newsletter. We're getting ready to drop the newsletter for the fourth quarter of last year and the first quarter of this year. Our first newsletter, so stay tuned for that. We have our town hall meeting coming up this Sunday. I'm going to drop the flyer for that. So, we're building our community of like minds. And again, we're not just building the community just to pose. We are building it because we want to make a change. So this Saturday, Reading Ras on the Front Line, Women's History Month edition, Ras Sekou Tafari, the legend. We're going to welcome forward Sister Rakina. We have Dr. Asantiwa and also Dr. Imani Tafari. It's going to be a powerful panel of sistering this Saturday. We're going to do it at 3 p.m. It's going to be a little early. We have another evening sistering. I'm going to drop that flyer tomorrow. Empress Jalala from Trinidad is going to be joining us. One of the sisters from the Bobo Shanti Order. So stay tuned. Tomorrow we have Queen Mother Moses on the platform. And then Friday, we welcome sisters from the House of the Nyabingi. They're going to be talking about the Empress Menen celebrations taking place in Kingston and in Barbados. So we have Nyabingi sisters that are representing here from the Jamaica Nyabingios and the Barbados Nyabingios. So stay tuned. That's Friday. Nyabingi Irids is going to be nice to hear from the Nyabingi sister. Again, most of these sisters don't do interviews. This is going to be a first for enough of those sisters. And then we have Empress Queen Mother Moses tomorrow. Why March is important. She has a PowerPoint presentation. Queen Mother Moses is a force of nature. We just let her go. I'm just gonna set up the thing and let her do her thing because Queen Mother is ready for them. So but it's a joy that we have this platform that we can give the sisters their month. to highlight. And we're going to be dropping our Empress Menen Day panel April 3rd. We have a massive panel. We're also going to be interviewing the reggae artist, dancehall artist Jalifa. Exclusive interview on April 3rd, Empress Menen Earth Strong. So we're full of content, family. And we are asking the item, become monthly members, become a monthly subscriber of the platform, support Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media. We are doing this in real life. I wish I had this as a young Ras, as Sister Sila saying. I wish I had a platform that I could have watched and to learn about so many different aspects of Rastafari. We're not just looking at one house or mansion. We have Nyabingi, we have 12 tribe, we have Orthodox, we have Bobo Shanti, we have Ida, we have Pan-African family, Kemet. We have all of the different aspects here, one platform, and it's unity. It's a blessing, it's positive. And we also are building a community, a network. Again, we want to be able to put the capital in the hands of the workers. We want real change in the movement. And the only way that is going to happen is when we can employ ourselves and employ others to do the work that we are called to do by His Majesty. And to do that, we need capital. His Majesty has shown us the black print, how he built Ethiopia. He did build it with money. It wasn't by just wishing and hoping or praying. He had money, he had businesses, he invested, all of these things that we now know are key parts of the liberty, along with the chanting, along with the other parts. That business side, that economic development side is just as important for this hour. So join us, and we will continue to bring you this exclusive content. Is this your first interview ever, Mama Sila, or have you done other interviews? Let me know. Is this the first?
Yes, this is my first.
So you see, we bust the seal. Nobody can chat to me over here. We had Mama Sila first. You can have. What did I say? Huh?
Thanks.
Yes. These are shy people, you know what I mean? So, but these are the workers that are doing the works, that keep the banner flying, that Lion of Judah banner. When we say it flies on every continent, these are the people who are doing that work to make it happen. Look at the grandbaby. Wow. Greetings. We love babies over here.
He's been trying to get over here for the longest, so I finally just let him come. This is my grandson, Santino.
Santino, blessings, Santino. Put some, if you're watching live, put some emoji, put some love in the comments for Santino. This is our youngest. Yes, please put some. Let's see some love if you're watching live. We got 28 people watching live. I know hundreds will watch replay, but put some love in the comment section, please, family, before we seal up.
And I also want to just quickly, if I may,
yes.
You wanted to go now? Just mention, we talked a little bit about repatriation and about, leaving this country, and I have done just that. I've been living in Belize for 4 years. I can't play right now. Now he wants me to come play, but maybe at some point after Women's History Month, you and I can sit down and do a talk about, what it takes to leave the United States. And then Belize, of course, is my country, and that's what I would love to share with others. My father actually left a plot of property, and my sister and I are in the process of developing residential lots on this property, and we are marketing to our people. We want to make it, for us, by us type of thing. And so maybe sometime in April, we can do another live, and I can talk more about Belize. English speaking, only 2.5, 3 hours from most places in the United States. The dollar is 2 to 1, so there's a lot. I know it's not Africa, but it's an option. And so I just wanted to kind of throw that out there as well.
And trust me, we're gonna need some options because the Gideon is gonna get redder. You know what I mean? The Gideon is gonna get redder. Not everybody's gonna be ready to go to Africa right away. So, having these kind of different options are very good. So we definitely have the I come forward to talk about Belize. And we're gonna have Mama Sila have to come forward to just get her story by itself because we want the New Orleans, we want the whole blockbuster film, you know what I mean? And she has a army of powerful youths there who all are special in their own right too. So we'll have Mama Sila sometime in the future when she's ready to share. We'll have Mama Sila forward. So there you have it, family. Join us tomorrow night for Queen Mother Moses. We will be going full speed ahead until April 3rd, Empress Menen, Earth Strong. All content from Sistren from all over the world. The Rastafari Sistren are active. Brethren, we have to step up because the Sistren are making it look away. May I tell you the truth. We have to step up, brethren, and come together. We can't make the Sistren them do all of the work. You know what I mean? We have to join and lead up on the battlefield. So we're going to do that. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion Voice.
This is Warrior King. And the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the Lion's Voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lion's Voice. Now put it, I jolly for say that.
Greetings, this is Rashila. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the Lion's Voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? Rashila said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the Lion's Voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
African pride, root of all nations, boy. I tried with the lion, the Rastafari. Lion of it tried with lioness like I do. Empress on the front line, we need you. Well, this is Medicine, the steady one, and you are now tuned in to the Lion's Voice Network. What the lion fought for do? Scorch them. Roast and parch them.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Empress Menen, Alliance, you're universally unfold, be told, Blessed love, this is Itege Idama, and it's time for the lioness and the lion's voices to be heard. This is the Lion's Voice, Rastafari.
Yo! Blazing fire, yeah man, this is Rasindio out of Belize. And the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. right? Yeah, man. We blaze fire, burning the wicked and the dirty vampire. Yeah, man, Rasindio said that. Blazing fire, lion boy.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Oh, yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Make the lioness them the lion voice.